Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how you can process your own cocoyam paste and store in the freezer and use at your own disposal. Let's get started. Get your cocoyam. I bought this cocoyam for 700 naira. This type of cocoyam is called edole or edofe. It is peculiar to the people from the eastern part of Nigeria, the Igbo people in particular. It is used as a soup thickener to thicken certain types of soup such as the bitter leaf soup or onubu soup, and also the oha soup, amongst others. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. If you are new here, please subscribe. Also hit the notification bell to get notified each time I post a new video. So guys, you pour in some water into this cocoyam to wash it. This type of cocoyam comes with a lot of sand because it is a root crop. You wash it thoroughly to ensure that all the sand gets off. While you're washing, you also pull off the extra skin that comes with it. This extra skin accumulates a lot of sand. That is why you have to dip it in water while you're washing. So also you have to cut off the edges. I learned this recently, that cutting off the two edges help to quicken the cooking process. I personally advise that when buying this type of cocoyam, you can buy a little above what you need, so that if you get spoilt ones amongst this, because sometimes you can get spoilt ones and there is no way of identifying it in the market. So you just buy a little above what you need. Even if you don't finish it, you can store it in your freezer and use it some other time. Ensure you watch this video to the end to get every bit of this tutorial. It might also interest you to know that there are different types of cocoyam in the market. To identify this particular one that serves as a soup thickener, the skin is usually darker in color. It has a very dark brown skin color and the size is usually smaller. The other ones we eat in oil are usually bigger in size. If you are not sure, you can ask the seller to be sure of what you are buying. This is me washing and peeling off the skin. I'm done washing and peeling off the skin, and this is what my cocoyam looks like. Squeaky clean. I've removed every sand in this very cocoyam. I get a clean pot and I transfer this cocoyam into the pot. When I'm done transferring this cocoyam in the pot, I get water and pour into it. I ensure I pour a generous amount of water into this cocoyam. At least the water should be at the same level with the cocoyam. Ensure every bit of the cocoyam is sitting properly inside the water. Just use your hand, toss it around, move it around, and ensure at least the water covers the cocoyam. Cover your pot, light up your gas, and transfer this onto your stove and allow it to boil. Allow it to boil for about 30 minutes. This depends on the amount of cocoyam you are cooking. The more the quantity, the longer it's going to take. So guys, intermittently I open up and I use my knife to test if it's done. Just pierce through, and if it slides in easily, you know your cocoyam is done. Besides, guys, you're blending this, so whether it is perfectly done or not, remember you're still going to use it to cook soup, so that's not really a problem, provided it has boiled for a good number of time. So in my sieve, I transfer this, and I'm going to pour in some amount of cold water on this very thing. The essence of the cold water is to easily cool it down so that as I'm peeling it, it doesn't burn or hurt my fingers. Ensure you peel properly, removing every trace of the skin or strand of the skin. Now, if you feel there are some that didn't get done, maybe you have any hardened parts, don't worry. You're going to blend this and it doesn't really matter. So guys, in my blender jar, I am going to be pouring this peeled cocoyam into it. And I'm going to pour a generous amount of water. The water should be at least at the level of where the cocoyam is. Reason is that if your blender is not a high-powered blender, you'll be needing a good amount of liquid to get this blended. However, if you're using a high-powered blender, you can pour water that is at half of where the cocoyam is. You don't need so much water if you're using a high-powered blender, but it's important that you add a good amount of water because this thing can be sticky and it may end up spoiling your blender blade. So to prevent this, add a generous amount of water. You can pause in between and repeat the process to ensure that everything in this blender is blended into a smooth paste. I'll be showing you guys what it looks like. Can you take a look? It's not runny, it is just in between. It is not too watery. Remember I told you that you need enough water so that to get this blended properly. Can you see the way it's looking? Now let me tell you the trick. If you're using this to cook, if for instance you normally use 4 liters of water to cook your soup, your family soup, I advise that if you're using this type of paste, you reduce the amount of water you use in your soup. If you use 4 liters of water to cook your soup, reduce it to 2 liters. That is, you can boil down your meat stock, reduce adding excess amount of water to your stock, so that once you pour this water in this paste can now substitute for the water you'd have added in your meat stock. What I'm trying to say is that your meat stock or your soup base has to be concentrated so that when you pour this, because this already contains water, your soup will not be watery or will not take a longer time for it to thicken. I also advise that when you are cooking, what you're supposed to do is this. Add your cocoyam paste, which is your soup thickener, in time so that it can start on time to cook and thicken the soup. I will also advise that anytime you find cocoyam in the market or you buy it cheaper, kindly buy it in bulk, prepare it this way, store it in freezer bowls, and you can use it throughout the year, any day, anytime. Remember, if you want to make a quick soup or emergency soup, you don't need to start running around saying you don't have a thickener or you don't have this or you don't have that. You gently pop it out of your freezer, allow it to thaw, and use. There are also times that you hardly find cocoyam in the market, and some people resort to using flour, oats, and some other stuffs. I also advise that you buy this in bulk each time you find it cheaper and available in the market. Buy it in bulk, process, and use any day, anytime.